Alright, so now that we've got to see our first look at House of the Dragon, we finally get reports, of course, of the how many viewers this show actually drew in. Did it draw in, the fans that, have loved the original of Game of Thrones, or are they still a little pissed? Looks like a lot of people, it drew in a lot of people. Now, you can say it drew in 10 million viewers through all platforms. So you can make a case that this overall is a good sign for House of the Dragon. Now, I would say caution to the wind a little bit when it comes to this, though. Even though it did bring in 10 million. This was an anticipated event. People wanted to see what was next for Game of Thrones. And overall, I was hesitant when right before House of the Dragon came out. I was like, the one thing that pissed fans off more, or the most, about the ending was Daenerys Targaryen. And I'm like, do you really, truly want to, I don't know, rub some salt in that wound by having a show about Targaryens? And they did. They took that risk. I think to a certain extent, at least in episode 1, it's paying off. But there's some things about this show, and when I did my review, I just watched it one time. I went back and I watched it again, and there's some glaring problems moving forward. I think I was a little bit too harsh on Matt Smith at first. I think he did an actually pretty credible job. Like I said in my review, I thought his acting was perfect, but I just personally didn't like him as a character. But upon second review, I will say he kind of maybe won me over a little bit more. But man, we're talking about, other than him and, Viserys, the king, we're talking about not very many interesting characters. There was a lot of fluff in that episode that I guess I got so caught up in, more, Game of Thrones, more A Song of Ice and Fire, the premiere of House of the Dragon, that I didn't notice the fluff in it quite as much. A lot of scenes talking about gossip. A lot of scenes, you could say that the scenes where the two girls are just always sitting around talking about, royal gossip, that could have been cut out. They could have had that dialogue presented a little bit more interesting, something that maybe moved the plot forward a little bit more. They didn't do that. It was just fluff. A lot of the things, of course, they tried to make that point with the birthing scene, about abortion and all of that stuff. I felt like that was the worst scene. I will say I thought they did a great job going back and forth between the jousting match and that. But at the same time, neither one of those, the jousting match nor the having the baby part, really intrigued me that much. So while I think this is going to be an overall successful show, I just wonder if they're going to be able to keep that many viewers. I don't know. I don't know if they will be. I would not be shocked that by episode 3 that they've lost half of those viewers. And I could be completely and totally wrong, because if you go to, Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a pretty high score up there. A lot of people loved it. And, I was one. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought overall it was a pretty good episode. It was a great starter. I thought it was, while Game of Thrones was great at the world building, I thought this was a great family drama, House of the Dragon. I thought it was a great family drama, and I thought they did a really good job of moving the pace forward. What would take Game of Thrones a whole season for, like, her having the baby in Game of Thrones would have gone a whole season. took one episode. So I'm kind of cool with this to a certain extent of the pacing. I just don't know if moving forward, if there's somebody beyond Daemon Targaryen or Viserys that I really truly care about that much. I don't think I'm going to enjoy many of the women on the show because it seems like they're always, going back and forth between, oh, well, these men are stupid and if they just listen to us, everything would be fine. Really, to be honest with you, they seem just as bloodthirsty as the men do, but that's just my personal opinion. But overall, I will say, I'm glad that it's a success. At least that people tuned in. Because I didn't want people to not show up for this show because of what happened to Game of Thrones. And then it actually be decent. And fans not even give it a chance. So I'm glad that people at least gave it a chance. You got 10 million eyes on something that allows people to go, okay, I either love it or I hate it. So moving forward, we're going to, it's going to be a great determinant of just how well this show holds people. If that 10 million stays the same or if it slowly deteriorates over time. And by the time we get to the finale of the season, it's cut in half. And that would be a big, big problem if it's cut in half. But it would still be actually pretty good. I mean, 5 million viewers, that's a lot of viewers still. But I don't know if it's up to HBO standards when it comes to, them wanting the, Game of Thrones level. So, because Game of Thrones was really like nothing we had ever seen before. It was like that once in a lifetime series that you talk about for a generation as one of the best shows of that generation. And Game of Thrones was that for a long time with a lot of people. So let's just see if House of the Dragon lives up to it. I personally think they're in a good start of it. I really enjoyed episode 1. But like I said, upon rewatch, I did notice a lot of fluff that I didn't necessarily notice in the fervor of the first watch of it. And that, hopefully, moving forward, will not occur. Hopefully, we'll get more substance moving forward. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think. Do you think this is going to be... Do you think they're going to be able to capture the lightning in the bottle like Game of Thrones did? Do you believe that they're going to be able to maybe even build upon that 10 million viewers? Do you think that, by episode 3, episode 4... that'll be cut in half? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all take care.